Last year was anonymously hot, even for Houston, but there was one other year with even more 100-degree days. Tell me a little bit about that.
I think we all have that year kind of seared into our memory. 2011, one day more 100-degree plus day than what we had last summer. So in 2011, we had 46. Last year, we had 45, and I felt every single one of them.
Well, and I remember last year, I was like, you know what, at this point, let's just top it. I was like, it's been so hot. If we're going to have such a hot year, let's just bring
I was
us there.
disappointed we didn't, actually.
I know, isn't that terrible?
Bit.
Okay, so we know it's coming. When can Houston expect our first 100-degree day?
So the good news, we've got a little bit of time before we see that first 100-degree day. July 19th tends to be the average. Obviously, we can see that, you know, earlier, but generally speaking, it doesn't happen until at least June in the city of Houston. Okay. Typically around the middle part of July. So we've got some time.
We do have some time. I know the problem here, though, is just that really fun heat index, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The heat index will likely top out over 100 much sooner than the actual air temperature. So brace for that while we've got some slightly cooler, quote unquote, weather.
Right. And you came across an interesting statistic. I'm dying to hear what this is.
I did. So 2022, we had 22 days where temperatures topped out at or above 100 degrees. Fast forward to 2023, last year, we had 45 days. Believe it or not, those 2 years, 2022 and 2023, was the first time in Houston's history that we had two back-to-back top 5 hottest summers when we're looking at 100-degree days.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting. So, you know, temperatures, you talked about it just a little bit ago, temperatures across parts of the state will get close to 100 degrees over the next couple of days. So temperatures in the upper 90s for some areas, especially towards the Rio Grande Valley. We've actually got the forecast for today and for tomorrow. So let's take a look at that if possible. And
might have to flick through it. There you go.
There we go. So temperatures over the next day or two will be, you know, mid to upper 90s here. So 90, 92, 93, Midland, San Angelo, but especially towards the Big Bend. That's where temperatures will be a little hotter, between 100 and 105 degrees, 110 degrees even. By Tuesday, as you were mentioning just a second ago, that cold front approaches us, and I use the word cold front very loosely.
Quote unquote.
Temperatures will still be quite warm, especially compared to the average, which you see there on your screen, around 80 degrees. Again, some areas, places like Del Rio, Laredo, possibly getting to the mid and upper 90s. And Laredo is actually one of those spots that gets to 100 pretty early in the year.
Yeah, and I'm actually really glad you brought up, especially off into the very western portions like Big Bend. A lot of people this time of year want to go, you know, and hike Big Bend. Yeah. And it is one of the most dangerous times because you don't expect it to get that hot. And then we end up with these heat-related deaths.
Now, I will say over the next couple of 6 to 10 days, really taking us through kind of the majority of the month of April, below normal temperatures are favored. And again, this is 6 to 10 days out. So not between now and the end of the week, basically, but starting to go out into the period next week. So below normal temperatures for Houston. For Texas as a whole, I think we'll enjoy that.
Yes. And, you know, we talked about the next week. Are there any early indications for this summer?
So there are not really indications this far out, but I will say, you know, in looking at the kind of past for some context clues, when we've seen these really hot years like we had last year, we do typically see a fewer amount of 100-degree days. Now, we'll still probably see some double-digit 100-degree days over the next couple of months, but any number less than 45 is a number I'll be happy with. Right. Especially if it's less than like 20.
And we live here and we're like, you know what? It's hot. We know where it's going to get hot. Even if it's 95, we're still going to be like, why is it hot? But,
exactly.
Good to know. Thank you for, you know, getting us ready for it. You know, we need to know it is going to come back. Let's prepare now.
Hydrate, get that sunscreen ready, and we'll make it through another summer.